So that's 956 on the 911 Brain Banging University 101. Come on in, come on in. Brain bang for a question. We brain banging for a question. I'm going to do some invites while I'm waiting on y'all. Carrie. So start time on this one was 9:56. That's a 9:11 on the flip, on the knock to a knockback. Looking for a turnaround, looking for a turnaround. Turn around, gonna lift me off the ground. Put my market flipping. I'm doing my invites because I don't have nothing specifically to talk about. I'm gonna go over a couple current events, then I'm gonna get into the Q&A aspect of this. So there's a couple things that we watch and go on that most people are not paying attention to. I've been warning y'all about sleeper cells, activating sleeper cells. They waking these sleeper cells up now. We got a school ooting situation going on, right? And we got a plane crash, right, with like 200 and some people on it, fiery plane crash. I can't even tell y'all how close we is to the end of this all. So we'll get a couple more invites. I might not invite everybody on here because it's saying my connection is slow. That means they're going to be giving me some shenanigans throughout. So I'm going to do a couple more. We're going to get into the proceedings this evening. Take your babies out these people's miseducational system. Take your babies out this miseducational system. Take your motherfucking babies out of this miseducation system. Y'all sending y'all children for target practice on people that don't even know before they get to the school building that they were going to be activated. They don't even know they about to be activated. They activating them. Get your babies out of these people's business. There's too many of us that's not paying attention. If you're paying attention, they've been telling us that this year is going to be a dastardly year for people that are still so blind that they're sending their child to this educational miseducation system. The school, shoe, shell, hell, dismal abyss. This is where y'all sending y'all babies to, okay? Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for now. So we got 70 people watching. How y'all doing? Tomorrow watch. Gabrielle Bay, peace to the motherfucking... got Prenay Brooks, what's going on? Ing Marie, OCO. This ain't chiefing with the chief. This brain banging right here, baby. We chiefing with the chief. We on Instagram. When we on Facebook trapping, we over on this motherfucker. We doing something a little different. We just brain banging. That's why this is just an open Q&A. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to talk about it. Your naysayers, your people that think that Rod Hayes crazy, the ones that's backbiting, the ones that's ass kissing, it don't even matter. The ones that hate me the most, the ones that love me the most. I don't care. If you come on here, we can talk about it. I don't got nothing to hide, and I ain't running from nobody, I ain't ducking. This is brain banging right here. So come on in, come on in. Get your brain banging utensils out. That means your ink pen, your pad of paper, so you can take some notes so you don't choke at test time. Right? So let's get it in. So with these sleeper cells being activated, everybody who is still sending their children to public access is sending them to a potential death camp. If y'all don't see it by now, and I've been telling y'all this for 3 years, when we get to the end, they're going to start activating their sleepers. When they activate their sleepers, you're going to know it because it's going to be some shenanigans. So let the shenanigans. While they on these shenanigans, y'all not protecting the babies. We can't do nothing if y'all don't protect your child. The parent's supposed to do their due diligence for the interest of the child. Every parent need to call in to their Board of Education and say, we will not be sending our children back to your execution camp. Tell them it's an execution camp. Tell them motherfuckers that you know what's going on. Tell them they don't have to activate no more sleepers. We get it now. This is danger in the heartland. This don't just affect us, the tribes of the land. This is also applied to the interlopers, the interceptors, the Decepticons, the Rejecticons, whatever it is out there that's sending babies to be educated by the enemy. Get your baby out of there. I've been telling you, there's nothing wrong with my lungs except 420. Y'all be hearing me cough and y'all offer remedies. I know the remedies and everything, but those coughs are Mary J. Wanja. Mary Jane, every now and then, want to check to make sure that I'm still pulsating. I'm still pulsating, Mary Jane. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel alright. She makes my heart sing. And when I'm feeling low, she come as no surprise. Take me a couple puffs. Lift me to paradise. Do you want to smoke with me, Mary Jane? Okay, so now, there is something I want to tell you about cannabis, though. Everybody that ever smoked the ganja, you got access to them by smoking the ganja. The ganja has its own egregore. And this egregore can talk to the chiefs through the endocannabinoid system. You not paranoid, that's a cannabinoid. So, when you see us, the chiefs, we on here, and we be focused in, puffing on that herb, and all of a sudden we start flowing, getting the download, them the ancestors interrupting us because they got something to say to us. They got something to say to us, and it's only a few of us that did the due diligence required to be a speaker box for the ancestral force that y'all call spirits. Every spirit is an egregore. When you say spirit, think it's an artificial thought that's been activated through conjure sorcery. All spirits, the ones you can see, the ones you can't see, are all egregores. If you don't understand what an egregore is, there's plenty of books on making egregores, what they are, explaining egregores. But every demon, which is a daemon, is a thought form, which is also an egregore. Every what we call angelic beings, is also a thought form, which means an egregore, meaning that the only difference between a devil and an angel is the message that they carry. And the ones who's receptive to their message is the bloodlines of the wicked. The ones who second guess that shit, talking about that don't sound like me. Why would I do some shit like that? Those are the ones that don't want the message from the egregores with the low vibrational frequency. They only want the Anglican, which is your angelic, which is your messenger activated DNA, RNA, mind matrix communication network system. Your emotions is your navigation. That's like having a speedometer, an orb check, an engine check. All them lights on your dashboard is your emotions. You ain't supposed to live in your emotions. Your emotions are supposed to tell you exactly how to live. Your emotions are only upset when they are not properly tended to. This is why you have people that can't never get over nothing. They're stuck in their emotions. They can't get over nothing. And they blame everybody for all their life's problems, and they the only motherfucker everywhere they go. That's called a common denominator. Dolo Breeze, gonna come on up, chop it up with the chief. He the only one so far that's sent. Apparently y'all don't have eviction, so I don't think we're gonna be in long. But I'm gonna let the brother come up, and we're gonna chop it up to somebody else come in with a question. Yeah, the computer system is based off the human mind. Your RAM is your short term memory. Your hard drive is your long term memory, and the cloud is your higher self memory. Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? Why I can't see you?
I can see you. I don't know why you can't see me.
Okay, that's fake book. I knew they was gonna be tripping. So what's going on, my brother? What can I help you with today?
My brother, I've been reaching out to you. I'm a builder down here in the Carolinas. I sent you a package. I was just wondering, did you get the package?
Um, on what you seeing?
So a necklace,
Yeah,
organite necklace. I'm Atlas OGs. I know you've
yep,
been
I know
sending me.
exactly what you're talking about. Yep, I got it. I was gonna do a picture and put it in my background with a couple other gifts I got.
All right, all right. I was wanting to know, could you educate me a little bit on the crystal tech, the EMF protection, and the Wi-Fi, the 5G, and the cell phone radiation. And what I make is EMF protection. So what I sent you was the EMF Ankh. It got I used bronze, selenite, quartz, beach sand, lake sand, Himalayan sea salt, shungite, and a neodymium magnet, all in that one piece.
hmm So the electromagnetic blocker, right? We electromagnetic beings.
Right.
First, you gotta understand that. The masculine principle is electric. The feminine principle is
His
magnetic.
name. Yep.
All right. Now, the masculine principle projects energy. The feminine energy attracts energy. So
Tracks
you
energy.
get
That's
it?
like the sun and the moon, right?
Yep.
Right.
Now,
That's what I've been telling people. I know it. I just want to know your perspective on it and make sure I'm on the right track.
so far it sounds like you is because you knew exactly what combination.
Yeah, yeah,
To
I
put.
know, I know the science. I wouldn't be, sir, I wouldn't be making this stuff and providing it to people if I didn't know the science behind it. I just be wanting the elders to inform the youth about it, to you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, to let them know that I am on the right track, and it's not nothing new. This is ancient technology. This is how we get back rooted with mother.
Anything that deals with crystals and um, spiritual or physical healing through crystals is Atlantean.
Exactly. And that's the reason why my company name is Atlas.
Yeah. So the Atlantean civilization interface with the earth and the universe using crystals.
Right.
We believe, based on modern indoctrination, that interfacing with technology is a bad thing and it's so called the mark of the beast.
Right.
But the real mark of the beast is to walk around in perpetual ignorance,
Yep.
and the only
Stagnant
thing you
energy.
can see is a dollar.
Yep. Stagnant energy.
hmm So,
Mhm.
like in Revelations, it tell you that you couldn't buy and sell without the mark. Some of them gonna have it in their forehead, and some gonna have it in their hand. What is the mark? It's in your
The,
forehead or your hand.
the idea. Oh, the money.
That's it. Because
Right.
they either thinking about the money or they trying to get
Yep.
their hands on some money. And
And
if you're
then
trying to get your hands on some money, you was already thinking about some money.
exactly. So to let you know, money ain't nothing but an idea anyway.
Right, because the money that we given is a die marker that follows the algorithm of society. This is why all of your banks are on, mostly on main drags. If you can capture the energy that they capture, they do the same thing I'm about to tell you. You can take out your city, you can get a map of all the banks in your city and put a pin in there. When you put the pin in there, you take a string and you play connect the dots with the string. That's your
Right.
sigil. It's going to show
Right.
you a sigil. The
Yep.
sigil, right, is how you program the mind for the money, or to you become like a breach in a communication, like a speaker that's on the speaker wire before you get to the woofer,
Yes, sir.
right? You might not be the woofer. That means you might not get the big bite, but you can always have bake once you know they sigil. Every city got a sigil for the finances. This is based off of the longitude and the latitude. It's based off what season was the charter derived, and the charters, the making of the charter, and the people that came involved, how many people was it? What's their profession? All this add to the programming of the egregore for that city, and the trapping of the dollars is the sigil that's made using the position in the banks. Then you got what's called old banks and new banks. All of the old banks is where a bank used to be, but it's not there no more. The energy's still vital, but you got to
Right.
use a different color string. So let's say you use, for active banks you only use the green string, and for defunct banks you use the red string. Right?
Right.
When you get done, you're gonna have still gonna have a sigil, and the sigil is gonna allow you to tap into the egregore. A lot of people don't know this science because this is a part of mysticism where you actually co-writing the universe in the form of a sigil.
Yep. I done made my own sigil. Um, Message me, Rod, if you want anything custom, man. I do some very powerful custom pieces, like powerful. I've been with the master teachers, uh, no, Professor Kaiba, Professor James Small, Zaire Wise. I just
Mhm.
did an event with LifeWave, so I'm really out here doing the work. That's the reason why I was out here reaching out to you. I know you
Look, I'm
got the
about to grab
knowledge.
something while I'm grabbing this. Tell the people how, if they need something made, where they can look at your work,
Yes,
and
sir.
they can, and also how to contact you. I'm about to grab something right quick.
Yes, sir. I got you. I appreciate y'all. Hey, y'all. This is Theo. I represent the Atlas OGs. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I got a TikTok shop. I have a Etsy shop also. It's ATLASOGS on all platforms. Atlas OGs. OG stands for Orgone Generators. Orgone is chi, prana, mana, life force, energy. These devices that I create keeps you grounded in places where you can't ground, like sleep, work, working home from the office with the kids. So I make wearable pieces. I make decor pieces. All my pieces come with natural quartz crystal, natural minerals, and bronze metal. Bronze metal is 88% copper. Copper is more electrical conductive. We use selenite for healing. We use shungite. Shungite is known for EMF protection by itself. You can put a piece of shungite in some water and it purifies it by itself. I use kyanite. Kyanite is a self-cleansing crystal. We got all different kinds. We got seashells. We got ocean vibe ones. We got Ankh pendants, large Ankh pendants. I sent Rod Hayes a necklace. Yes, Rod Hayes has some of my work. Yep, Atlas OGs. Yep, that's me. So we got the organite pendants, sun and moon carry shell, quartz point wrapped in copper. We got we got the bronze metal. You see the shungite. You see the neodymium magnet. We got beach sand. We got lake sand. We got um, we got selenite, we got crushed Himalayan sea salt, shungite. It's a whole bunch of natural minerals in there. I collect most of the minerals myself. The ones I can't get, I buy in bulk. Buying bulk for a local supplier. They are real stones. I am a fabricator, so I get my metals from. So we got the chocolate color Ankh. Catch me on TikTok. I'll be on live on TikTok selling, educating. Post a lot of content on Instagram. Not too much on Facebook, but I will. Y'all, you can follow my business page. This is my personal page. You can follow my business page on Facebook. It is Atlas OGs. ATLASOGS. I appreciate y'all. If y'all can, so y'all can see me. Okay, we got the Eyes of Horus, very dynamic. These are pendants. I got the copper chains available on the shop also. Real copper chains. I'm out here with the master teachers. They know the science. It's a lot of the youth doesn't know the science. They've been warning us about EMF since the early 1990s. It has been implemented, and we must protect ourselves. That's the reason why dehydration is at an all-time high. Anxiety, depression, unaliving yourself. However you want to say it, we got all these different symptoms, all this war, all this trauma. all this tenseness is because we all being disconnected from others. So we do got the real seashells. These are real seashells wrapped in copper. So real seashells filled with organite. We got flowers in there. We got the quartz point wrapped in copper. So we got all different types of seashells. We do custom pieces. We got the rings. I got even do the custom copper adjustable rings, guys. So we do a whole bunch of lights. So y'all gonna be seeing me around a lot, much more. I'm with a bunch of these master teachers, educating about this organite. One of the only melanated organite makers around that's actually doing it for good reason. So that's Tiger Eye adjustable rings. We got the rings. We got the necklace. These are the medallions. Once you do get a medallion, these are the medallions come. We got the medallions on the necklace. So this is the medallion also. These are ready for copper chains. We got the cowrie shell.
You back? Oh
You
yeah, that
back
was me.
right?
That was me. I was looking to see you on in the background.
They
My,
see me, but I guess you can't see me. I'm good now. I
yeah,
appreciate this,
I
Ryan.
can
Well,
see.
this is
I can see you now.
I appreciate you, big dog.
Okay, now let's go into a little bit of science and let's talk about orgone,
Yeah, let's
right?
go. That's what I've been wanting from you, big dog. That's all I've been wanting.
Okay, now you have what's known in the ancient world as ether, prima
The fifth
mater,
element. Yep.
right?
Yep.
What's the other names for ether, prima mater,
Um.
Shakti? But what it is the spiritual energy that everything function by. It's
The
called
all.
or energy. Now, reference. For those say I don't get no references. Dr. Delbert Blair has
Yep.
a video. He's explaining his diodes. His diodes is it's the same thing the brother talking about, but he also goes into or energy. Now, or energy was rediscovered in the early 1900s, and it was a big craze at the time because they used to heal all kind of stuff, and they came up with something called an orgone accumulator,
Yep.
right? The orgone accumulator is to harness the ether energy into a physical form that had not been seen since the days of Atlantis and the first pre-dynastic civilizations of what y'all today call Egypt, or we call the
Mhm.
Kim.
Yep.
So in the old world, the Oregon energy was understood better than electricity is understood now.
Yep.
Imagine in 1,000 years we forget about electricity because we go to a higher form of energy output, then all of a sudden somebody rediscover it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is what's going on with Oregon energy or energy. The or energy is facilitated something by something else. It's called AB energy. Ab is the Kemetic word for heart. This is solar ray energy, right? The solar ray energy is the ab energy. Now, when you understand what orgone is and or energy, and you understand what ab energy, which is the comes through the frequency that your heart chakra naturally vibrates. So
Right.
anybody can look up what's the frequency of the heart chakra, and they'll pull it right up. That frequency is the frequency that balances solar rays and with the Schumann resonance as it passes back and forth through the human body,
Mm.
right? So when you take another word like aboriginal, ab, heart, or, right? And then it
Oh
got
man.
genial, which is actually supposed to be genes.
James.
Ab
Yep.
or genes, right?
Hard.
That's give you your aboriginal, right? Your
Oh man.
genesis, your ab or genesis, the beginning of the species, right? So this is why they call them ab originals because they got ab energy, which is a prominent vibrating heart chakra energy. We call those people the ones with the golden heart. Now,
Um.
the ones who carry strong aura energy that overpowers their heart energy, we call that a graceful spirit. That's what it looked like when people are operating from the frequencies that energy comes in on, right? So
Right.
Dr. Delbert Blair has a lot of lectures dealing
Yep.
with or energy, diodes, the cancellation of those electromagnetic energies that we being bombarded with on purpose
Yep.
under the
Yep.
pretense of ignorance, as if they didn't know how it was going to affect us. If they didn't know how it was going to affect us, they would use it. And if they knew how it was going to affect us, they was going to
That
use it. But
was
anything
right.
that's used and is adverse to us, they're going to use that on us. We can't say, oh, they created it and they're not going to use it, right? But
Right.
everybody saying we got a nuclear bomb. Everybody got a nuclear bomb. More countries got nuclear bombs than y'all know. But guess what? Them ships flying around up there neutralize every Earth. The CIA leaked this information that these beings, whoever they is in these ships, has turned off all nuclear launch
Warhead.
capabilities of the Earthborn because we didn't blew this motherfucker up too many times. Go on here,
Yep.
brother. You got anything else to say before I pull on the next person?
Oh, just one thing. Um, it's been a lot of stuff been going on with this since I've been making this organite. I was wondering, I am gonna message you. I got questions that I can't probably say on here that you probably can enlighten me about. That I need a little bit of guidance from a chief, if you don't mind.
That's what I'm here for.
Got
Because
you,
I
got you. But
developed these exotic skills that I didn't know that I thought I was learning some useless information. And I developed myself mentally to a level now every tribe can utilize whatever I know for they come up. If they need a young chief counsel, if they need a big mama to be counsel, that's
mhm.
really what I've been being in the process of being trained to be an advisor to all of the matriarchs across the land and all of the chiefs from
You've been
the
doing a great
male
job.
war chief standpoint and what you call a tribal war chief that specializes in strategies, military strategies of least resistance. That means how to win the war without blowing this bitch up again. Because I sure want to blow it up again.
That's the we peace, peace, peace. But hey, just do me that favor. I appreciate that in the future. I'm already go ahead and say appreciate it for when you make that post and show people where you got your stuff from and if it enhances anything that's been you've been going through, please let the people know and I will appreciate it.
Look,
100.
I've been having it on the bed laying next to me. Somebody else has sent me an ankh,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I got an ankh, and then somebody else sent me a copper piece, and then you sent me the orgone piece. All that stuff sit
Mm-hmm.
right there. I had laid it on the corner of my bed. Man, I was
Mm-hmm.
sleeping like a baby.
There you go. That's all I've been wanting to tell the people. These things help with sleep, anxiety, depression, brain fog.
I don't
So
I don't
y'all
normally
heard it
sleep
from me
well.
yourself.
Yeah.
What you say,
I
sir?
don't I don't normally sleep well. I sleep in short bursts.
There we go.
All right. But with all this stuff, with these items sitting on the corner of the bed, I've been sleeping. When I finally go to sleep, I'm sleep for some hours
All
before
right.
I'm
Okay,
waking back
before
up.
you let me go, right, look at my big one. I'm gonna show you Horus. So I did Horus also. So it got Horus in the middle. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a large
I
one
can't
too.
see it right now. I gotta wait till it come up on because it's a lag on this device from what we talking. But when
Mm-hmm.
it come back up, I see it. I see
All
you
right,
got
yeah.
some nice
Message me,
pieces in
man. You
front of you.
gonna message me? I'll get you, make your staff whatever you need, whatever you need, Chief. I got you, free of charge.
Okay, I keep you updated on what I got. I see.
All right,
Okay, right now I'm looking at you showing the Orgone pyramid.
okay. Yep, that's the big one. The Horus in the middle.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
that's
right here at the
Horus.
bottom look like a diode.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. I wait till you, man, tap in. When you see what I'm really, really doing, you can be like, yeah, he knows something. So I don't know. I just need somebody that done been there and then seen things to tell me what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I need to tap in a little bit more.
Okay, I got you. I got you in the messages.
All right, peace, OG.
Yeah. All right, peace. Let's see who next. Ooh. Josh Johnson, where you at, brother? Where you at, my brother? Peace, peace.
Maybe in the casino, waiting in the back. Still shooting crack.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you see me?
Not on this screen. Think I can see you on my other screen. Let me go look.
Looking right, Hayes, big dog, man. What's up with it?
Okay, what can I help you with today, my brother?
Nothing much, man. Just wanted to get on here and say I've been watching you for a long time.
For sure, man.
Yep, yep.
There's a few people on Facebook where I started at. I haven't done the live on here in some months, almost a year.
Man, I've been watching you on Instagram, Facebook. I think I started with you and Young Elder, right?
Yeah.
So,
Shout out
but
to
I had
Young Elder. That's my guy.
man, right? So you're right. So I started off with Dane Calloway at first, and then I had bumped into one of my homeboys out there in Oklahoma, and they said, "Man, check out Ryan Hayes," right? So I started checking you out about that about the Gullah Wars, right?
Yep.
So when I started doing right, I already had been I've been doing my little history about my family already, right? So when I
Yep.
started checking out the Gullah Wars, everything started making sense. I say, man, cause I got people coming out of Alabama, out of Mississippi, out of Arkansas, Florida. I say South Carolina. I say, man, right? So we all down there on the battlefield, right? And
Hmm.
I'm coming up with stories of how we lost our land. I say, dang. So what I've been doing, I've been tracing back, been trying to go back as far as I can go. Um, but I'm kind of stuck like early 1800s.
That's
Um,
that's by design. Let me tell you why. The 1800s is when they start burning down city halls, libraries, churches, and um, city halls, churches, libraries, anywhere we kept records of who's who on the land, they burned it up in the 1800s. It didn't stop the burnings until like the 1940s. But if you go back and you look, like for instance, where my mom was from, down in Macomb, Mississippi, Magnolia, Mississippi, the records that had all of the background to my grandfather's estate was burned up in um, a fire in the courthouse. So they say. I don't be believing them. I'll be believing that they took the real records to D.C. and then burnt the building down because they got to give it all back in the end. And guess where we at?
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, it's unfolding. It's unfolding. Everything unfolding right now. Yep, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
so that's why everybody that keep running into that same problem right around the mid 1800s, between like 1835 to like 1870, is where they run into that roadblock. Well, my family only go back to the 1860. That means that you probably 99.9% from the tribes of the land, and that they didn't burn down. So when you get to wherever your records stop, where your records stop, look for the courthouse burning. Look for in the newspaper. Look for courthouses burning down, libraries burning down, and city halls burning down. This is where they used to keep the records at, right?
Most definitely.
Every big mama had a book that documented who was born, who their parents was, what's they rank in the family, like what position they in to be the next chief of the family, leader of the family, head of the family, head of household, male or female, right? Just because the male is the head of household doesn't is not a blight on the matriarchy. The man become the head of household when the family's at war. Yeah, he automatically got to be out front because we don't put our women in front of us to fight our wars. Yeah, but that's why you run into that because that's when they start burning up our records.
I noticed, man. I noticed they was reclassifying us on them documents too. One minute they calling us Negro, next minute they calling us mulatto. Then the next census, 10 years later, they'd be before or prior they'd be calling us white. So I'm like I don't know if they stealing names or is this the same person. They just classify one minute they white, then they turned into a mulatto.
That same person. That's how they did. They can't steal your birthright unless they put somebody in the place of somebody that's descendant in your family line. So you have a person. Normally they tag with the name Jacob or Jack, right? This is when they finna put an interloper in there. Especially Jacob was the name they used because Jacob means supplanter, right? So when Elijah had to explain to us how they got here, he used Yaqub because Yaqub is the Hebrew word for Jacob.
I'm listening.
So this that's how you know when they put the imposter in the family. But they will reclassify us one person on three different censuses might be three different ethnicities.
Mm.
That's how you know you are actively being replaced. They don't want us to know who we is because we got the territorial rights. Fuck they law. They law is admiralty rights. The rights to a ship. We don't want fuck your ship. We want the rights to our land. We reparations is a drop in the bucket and it's not gonna compensate to the same value as your birthright. So let's say they gave everybody $1 million. So they say it's like 40 million of us in America. And they gave everybody $1 million. That's like 400 million dollars, right? So they gave everybody $1 million. Your birthright, they just gave you pocket change. Imagine if you divide that same number of people, all of the mineral wealth of the land, all of the food wealth of the land, all of the industrial wealth of the land, and then all of the taxes on that stuff is all part of your birthright. You got way more coming under birthright than you could ever get under reparations. Under reparations, you can only be repaired for a little 200-year stretch of your history. But by birthright, it compensates you back into the ancient times. When they talk about old money, new money, we got ancient money. We still got Pharaoh's coffers that's untapped right now because we was at war. And though contrary to popular opinion, warlock is not a male witch. A warlock is a condition when you in a state of war and Big Mama close and lock her bank. You in a warlock now.
I'm hip. I'm hip. I know. I noticed a lot of my people's right now. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. Uh,
Show me. Show me.
yeah, yeah. But I got my peoples that came from out of Mississippi and Alabama. But the stories I told, we grew up in school. They saying, the slave stories. But the stories I was told that, we had always owned our land. But on one situation out of the Alabama side, our last name was Peebles. They said it three times in a sentence. You got Peebles, and then and they spell it three different type of ways.
Yeah, in Spanish is
So
pueblos.
in Spanish
Same,
is
it's the
what?
same pueblos.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean villagers or people from the village.
right.
Like,
So
but it's
when I
the
talked to
same.
my
It's
great
the
grand,
same. It's the same Mississippian clan. Peoples, pueblos. That's the same Mississippi clan, but the family broke up from war.
most definitely, most definitely, yeah. When I talked to my when I talked to my great uncle, he told me, man, we lost the land. The way he explained it, he said we lost the land due to crooks taking the land, right? But as I'm doing the research, I noticed that the great grandfather, right, was like a I'm trying to get off into his background. Well, I do know he was one of those first guys who came over here from like England, like one of them Protestant guys. So I can't tell you if he was Jewish or uh
And you
uh
the one that sold the land.
no, he lost it. They lost it due to back taxes. But what I'm thinking is the dude
He,
probably had
he,
another
he did.
family.
That was sabotage. Okay, so let's go over the ways that they sabotaged us to wrestle the land out of the hands of the women in order to put it in the hands of men. Right. First, they brought these. pretty boy types with these flashy ass European suits on that we don't dress like that over here. We dress dapper, but we dress New Orleans culture dapper. We don't dress England culture dapper. So they already look like an anomaly in the presence of the women. But they got a mission. Their job is to marry her and kill her. Because when he marry her, um, if she don't have no will, everything has to be just. He got to be the executor in order to say who's running the firm next. And if he not one of us, he's not gonna do right by us. So he gonna hire what's called um, a plantation management firm, right? Um, I was talking about this on somebody's show recently, and I was telling them about Dr. Cartwright. Dr. Cartwright and Dr. Benjamin Rush, the father of American psychiatry or psychology, they are the ones who, or two of the ones who was teaching, actively teaching people how to manage and maintain slaves, right? It's a book called On the Keeping and Maintaining the Slaves. I think that was written by Mr. Cartwright, but it's where you find the term drapetomaniac, the predisposition of the and captured people to flee from servitude. In other
Mm.
words, you take a dude to prison and he keep escaping and you label him a drapetomaniac because why else would he run from captivity if he wasn't psychologically ill? And since we don't know the source of it, we're going to give it a name and we're going to call it drapetomania and call him a delirious, mania mean delirious, drapto mean runner. So he's a delirious runner and it's applied to the condition of those who are compelled to run away and escape the bondage of the POW camps that they call plantations. Plantation is two words, a compound word. It was plant and nation that was put together to make plantation. In other
Mm.
words, they was planting the seeds to grow a new nation right in the middle of our families on family farms that they called plantations, right? So he would marry the big mamas off. Now he's the executor of a state. His rightful heir is Big Mama's eldest daughter, and her chosen son is the one that she called her right hand man. He's the one who's supposed to take over the male side, which is the overseeing of the workforce, where she overseeing the taking care of the children. So we split the labors, the child related and family household related things in the main house. That's all Big Mama territory and them sisters. Then we have what's called the male responsibilities, where we got the barn out there for butchering. We got one over here for cleaning the animal and smoking them. And then we got another little old place over here that we use for storage. 9 out of 10. That one is dug about 20 feet down in the ground, and then a big cavern is made. And that's where they used to keep most of the food. This is where you got the idea of a basement from. When you go to Europe, you don't see no basements too often unless they modern buildings newer than 1900. They didn't do basements over there. The only place had a lower floor was the castles had dungeons. They didn't have basements. That came from building houses on top of your food storage bin. So once he get the property, get control, now he go to the bank and make what's called the sharecropping agreements, where I'm going to share my crops, produce, profit with you if you give me the means to produce the crop this year. Most of the big poppers that was us, you knew them because they hurried up and paid off the sharecropping agreement before they could lose their property. They probably only dipped in it 1 or 2 years. Now they are autonomous and independent again. Most of them didn't do that because most of them wasn't good business managers. They was good. They knew all of the aspects of farming, but the business side. This is what
Right.
happened to a lot of
Right.
entertainers today with the 360 deals is
Right.
to take your intellectual property and give you the minimum they can pay you without you noticing you being robbed.
Right.
So then that's how we start losing the land.
Yeah, but I was just
So
talking to somebody about that. Yeah.
So it was all done by it was systematically done on purpose, and then you can find the where they was it's written about in the first charter, which is out of Savannah, Georgia, that I reposted and I did. Me and B Dale touched on it earlier in the week. Then me and Florburn touched on it, but the post is on my Facebook page. You have to probably scroll back a week, which is a lot of posts on my page, but if you scroll back a week, you'll see the blue background and this three-part post about the bar charter, and all of the images is pictures of the bar charter or related pictures.
All right, I got a my next question is I got two more questions before you let me go. My next one is all right, now me following now I didn't already went back and pretty much found everybody I need to find on my family genealogy. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking up land deeds, I'm looking up occupations, and I'm finding different things, right? So I'm finding we had land in Mississippi with oil on it. Um, and I'm
Not a
finding we
thing.
had land in Arkansas that got flooded out, right, due to the Great Flood of 1927.
Which was done
Um,
deliberately, like this one that's going on in Washington now.
right, right. See, when my great aunt told me about to see, I asked her. I said, "What made y'all come to St. Louis?" You know, because everybody think they just ran up here because of Jim Crow laws and black codes and all that type of stuff. But she said he came up here due to the Great Flood. Um, I'm thinking that was by design. You know, they broke
Yeah.
the levees, flooded them off. That was down there like in Helena, Arkansas, not too
So
far from
a
Memphis.
lot of times what they do is they find what's called a local valley that's in the path of a stream, right? Or a small river, and then they dam the river up until the valley is full with water. And then they blow the dam, and then all of the water that was in the dam go rushing down into the city that's probably a ways downhill. They was doing that, and they normally do it right before a storm. Now you gotta remember, they used to plant crops by the almanac, and also was their weather reporter. So they knew what days it would rain, and right before a rain come, or that's expected by the almanac, and which is all did by astrology. Then once they catch a rainy day and they've got enough water to flood you out, they blow the dam. That's why they keep telling motherfuckers levees breached. The same way they telling them right now in Washington the levees breached. It's the same shit they told them in Hurricane Katrina, and they full of shit on all levels.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Now, the $1 million question is, how do Rod know they full of shit? Watch this. Every time something that they don't expect happen, they send 1,000 investigators to study it from every angle. And anything in the land that's similarly situated, meaning in this case we're talking about levees. If the levees gave for Hurricane Katrina like they told us they did, the levees in Washington wouldn't be given now because they would have found the real cause of the breach in the levee, and they would have had the repairs in place to prevent the levees that's breaking in Washington right now to break. But them ain't the only ones. Them just the ones we using for the example. But they got broke levees all the time. Everywhere you see a great flood, it's a broke levee somewhere. And that's not no coincidence. It happened too regularly to be a coincidence. And coincidence just means two. When it get more than two, when you get to three, you at triangulation. When you get to four, you at a four corner shuffle, right? When you get into five, that's a 5-star flip. You're seeing it now. Too many events with the same underlying circumstances and a different descriptive cause from each one. It's a raise my rock out eyebrow here. What you mean they all similarly situated, right? But they all have a different cause, but whatever the cause was, the secondary cause is breaking levees. Well, at Lake Lanier, They didn't even try to shield that shit. They blew that goddamn dam that they had up. It had to be up for about 2, 3 years to blow that much water because it turned into a lake that ain't never evaporated.
I'm hip.
You don't trust these people. They lie too much.
I'm hip. I'm hip, man. All right, I got another one for you. All right, so as I started doing my genealogy research, I started looking into my family. As I started looking into my family, right, as I started picking through certain individuals, going through pictures, um, their occupation, where they was placed on where they was placed on the geography map, and it seemed like they started coming back to me in my dreams, man. I mean, like they was talking to me clear as day. Um, they'll come back to me say for instance, I was asking myself about farming. Right, I got a lot of kids in my family. I got a big family, so I'm like, man, how was my family? How was they taking care of each other prior to now? And I realized when I started searching, I say, okay, they had a farm. They was pumping their own water out the ground. Um, they was raising their own hogs, this, that, and the third. So when I started looking into it, I instantly it came back to me. So now I got my own farm. I started growing. Um, I got my own produce. And it's like they came back to me in a dream a few times, and one of them was my great granddaddy. He was a general. I think it was the Korean War he was in. Then another one was my great grandmother, and it's almost like she was trying to coach me on how to how to coach the family on what we need to be doing to be self-sufficient and learn how to operate without the government. And I was trying to see if it's anything I can do to should I say praise my ancestors. What you got for that? You got
You
anything
got
on that?
you have an altar? Do you have an altar?
Yeah, I got a little room where I got all they pictures and stuff, all my little photos and everything up
Now
where I do my homework at.
you need to try to find out what each one of them favorite food, clothing item, or like some of them might have like certain kind of stones, but they got something that they loved in their life, right? Like let's say for instance you're trying to find your granny and you trying to tap into her frequency, and she was the one who used to cook for 27 kids and 136 grandkids every Sunday morning, right? Her recipe book opened up in front of her photograph, opens her frequency up for a sympathetic link that's 10 times more powerful than just a picture alone. Let's say grandpa, he used to like to smoke a pipe tobacco, and he had his favorite, but let's say it was apple tobacco, right? Which is some kind of way they mix the bark of the apple tree with tobacco leaves and roll it up, and it smelled like you smoking apples. But let's say that was his thing. So you say, okay, you would go get you one of those little wood pipes or whatever kind of pipe he had, and if you can get one of his actual pipes, that make it even stronger. Then you pack it with his favorite tobacco. You don't gotta smoke it. You just gotta light it, and then you sit it in front of his photograph. When you showing him reference, he'll talk to you just like I'm talking to you now. You'll hear him just as clear as you hear me now, because he's tied into you in your DNA. So, like my mama thing, like when I get stuck, I'm going to get a Pepsi. Mama, what do I do from here? Boy, now I done told you, right? Just like I'm talking to you. I mean, my mama be having a whole conversation, and she been physically gone for some years now. But I can still talk to my mama. I can talk to my dad. But my dad only want to talk when I make accomplishments in life, right? Let's say, for instance, if I graduated from a program, Pop's gonna show up. He gonna show up and show out with his jovial laugh, his big wide smile. He gonna show himself in my mind's eye. I'm gonna see him, and he gonna tell me what he need to tell me, or ask me what he actually love asking me questions because he like to see me answer them. And I don't understand where that come from, but it seemed like a lot of people like asking me questions now when they used to didn't like asking me shit.
I'm here. I'm here, man. You be doing a whole lot. Shit, I say, man, I bumped into you. I mean, I've been, like I say, I started off with my boy Dane. I was already on some shit before Pride, but when I seen Dane, it was like, man, I ain't the only one out here like that, right? And then my peoples bumped me into you and Young Elder, and then I started fucking with Top Cats. I say, man, these guys on the road, these guys, goddamn, me got it going on.
Okay,
Shit.
so we had 50 chiefs. Um, that was these one of the 50 chiefs had to figure out the problem. All of them gonna get an opportunity. They had, I think, 21 more fairs where however many fairs is in that display at the George Washington Memorial. I think it's 21, right? And this is why in the pictures when Noble Drew Ali is telling us we the many, the more Zionist Jews is the few. And so it's the few versus the many. It's 50 chiefs, right? If you look up Carlos V mural, those are some of the chiefs that's in the mural that on the return back, we all agreed to come in with amnesia and figure out the problem. But I didn't come in with amnesia. Something went wrong. Rod Hayes was retarded in a different kind of way that allowed him to not be programmed and his memory erased totally. So I used to see stuff that I didn't know what it meant, but they were flashbacks of going through all this shit in prior lives. And then it
Mm.
started showing me what I got to do. So for, I couldn't come up and teach in the public before the 6,000 years contract between the Galactic Federation and the Anunnaki was up. The 6,000 year contract, we call that the 6,000 year rule of the devil. I wasn't allowed to take the test because everybody thought I was retarded. So they was always pushing me to the back burner, telling me, no, you ain't ready. You can't take the test. It ain't your turn. We don't need you. Your skills is not going to help you pass this test, right? So I done went through lifetimes trying to end this shit, but nobody's allowing me to step out front and tell what's going on with our tribes because they say if don't nobody know, these are elders saying this, if don't nobody know us, the person that know us the best is the one they call in the Vadum the Baron of the Crossroad. They call him in Central America Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl. They call him the plumed serpent. They call him the father of wisdom, the wisest among them all, wiser than Solomon. They all these nicknames, but they gotta all of the tribes gotta have grievances for them to solve in order to find out why we don't got our shit. And it's only one person that he can be blind, deaf, and dumb and tell you that this ain't all our people. We got the interlopers on the land. So they conjure my ass up. Now that they didn't conjure me up, they gotta feed me information in my face behind my back because they know that's the only way I'm gonna pay attention. You got to be trying to get over on me in order for me to look at you and see through your bullshit. So now all the chiefs say, okay, let's call Chief Pontiac, see what he gonna do. And I'm gonna do like Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. That kind of shit right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got it going on, big dog. You putting them receipts out there, shit. We can't do nothing but acknowledge that. You know what I mean? Can't nothing but salute the
The,
hat to
on-
that one, big dog.
the
You know what I
only
mean?
people, the only people that's adamantly against anything that I'm saying is the people that's losing the war. Let that sink in. The only ones that's mad about what Rod is saying or saying he don't know what he talking about are the ones that's losing. They done lost. They done lost. So since they lost the war, now all they can do is throw slander balls in my direction. Periodically, I gotta pop out and remind the tribes that, yeah, I see that bullshit. I ain't running from them motherfuckers. I ain't ducking. I ain't hiding. They can all get it. But Mama said we gotta follow these steps first.
Man, that's crazy. You know, I'm gonna let you go after this one. My family used to always say we was cursed, right? And then I started hearing about this 200-year conjuring war, right? So I say, damn. They used to always say we cursed. I don't feel like I'm cursed, right? Because I'm winning, right? So I'm like, damn, y'all feel like y'all cursed. But then I started getting into this conjuring war. So I say that's why, because you feel like you cursed because you believe in they bullshit. Once you start believing they bullshit, everything start changing. And that's what made sense to me. I say, yeah, we can't keep on believing the illusion. You know what I'm saying? Being hypnotized under the spells. You know, so yeah, I appreciate you doing what you're doing, boss man. I just want to tap in with you. You know what I mean? I ain't want to hold you too long.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. I had a
Yes,
couple
sir.
people down here waiting to come up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boss man.
All right, peace, God.
You know it.